Good morning from Queensland, Australia. I'm just finishing up my holiday here and hoping to head back to New Zealand the end of this week. So I wanted to pop online. Well, I'm recording this so that Sam can post it for us, because next week Sam and I will be starting a tapping group. I'll be leading the tapping and Sam will be popping on with her Healy, to introduce tools that we can use to help with resistance to whatever we're trying to do, and especially with the focus on emotional eating and food cravings. Now, I have been both an emotional eater and also, excuse me, I've got my laptop on my knee while I'm doing this, and also had to deal a lot with food cravings. I didn't realize I was an emotional eater till I gave up smoking. Uh, I used to be very slim the whole of my life, and then people say that when you give up smoking, you're changing the hand-to-mouth action from the smoking to the eating, which is exactly what happened. But with smoking, you're also suppressing those emotions, which is what I was doing. You sit down with a cup of tea and a cigarette after, well, a lot of the time, but especially after something controversial had happened or triggered you, and then that swapped over to eating. So there's a difference between emotional eating and food cravings. Food cravings are like when you see a food or think about a food and you can't get it out of your mind. You have to have some of it. You go to whatever lengths are necessary to get some of that food and eat it, and then that craving is satisfied for now. So food cravings can be linked to positive and negative events in the past, and people can crave either sweet, savory, or salty foods. So we'll be running in our weekly tapping group that Sam and I'll be starting next week. I think week 3 we'll be starting dealing with food cravings. Emotional eating is more when you find yourself at the end of having binged on something that you come back present. So when you're emotionally eating, most of the time you're generally not present at the time. So something's triggered you and you're seeking out the comfort of food. I also believe from personal experience that I had anxiety, and that anxiety was in my stomach, and I was calming that anxiety with food. So with emotional eating, you might come back present, you might be in your fridge eating and you've just eaten a lot of food, and then that brings you back present, it quietens down the state that you're in, and then you realize what you've done. Even though at some level you're aware while you're eating that packet of biscuits or that bar of chocolate, um, you're not fully consciously aware till after you've done it. So that's emotional eating. And one of the tricks with emotional eating, with the dealing or releasing of it, is firstly accepting that you're an emotional eater, and then becoming aware of the behavior. So I think week 4 we'll delve into emotional eating, and I'll start giving you the tools to be able to help you identify, and B, help you change that behavior, what to do to break that cycle. So I'm just going to be fairly quick now because I am still on holiday and it's 6 a.m. and I do have you balanced on my knee. Excuse me, I'm just playing with buttons on my laptop. So week 1 of our emotional eating, which starts 7 p.m. Monday, New Zealand time. Tuesday, I'll get Sam to, sorry, it's Tuesday next week, the 30th that it starts. So week 1, we'll come together as a group and we'll work on how to raise our vibration using tapping and emotional tools that I bring into it. And that will include changing your emotional state, how to release negative thoughts, and also bringing in daily practices. So with tapping, we're calming our system all of the time, but we tap on points on the body, which are known as meridian endpoints. They're actually part of the vascular system. So scientifically, they've proven that we are tapping on an energetic system in the body. It's a concrete duct system. So when we're tapping on the different points in our body, we're sending calming signals to our brain. So if we can bring tapping into a daily practice, we're actually sending calming signals to our brain, releasing those stress hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, and calming our system. So week 1, we'll be working on, I'll teach you tapping, and we'll be working on discussing daily practices and how we can bring those in so that we're supporting ourselves while we're doing this work. Week 2, we're nearly into February now, so it's been a month since we've all done our New Year's resolutions, and it'd be interesting to have a little catch up on how people are doing with the goals and things that they've set, and participating in this program. We'll work on any resistances and blocks that people may be having to implementing the changes, and those resistances and blocks can be so subtle. So it's so subtle. We're so clever at staying in our comfort zone and not pushing through that. So we'll look a little bit into that and what we can do about identifying those and releasing those blocks. So it's really learning about show up for yourself rather than having other things come in and take over that. But it can be more subtle than that as well. So week 2, we'll delve into that, and then week 3 we'll jump into food cravings. Once we've got the daily practices in place, we've worked on the resistance so that we're open to doing this. Then we'll bring in week 3, the food cravings, and we'll look at sweet, savory, and salty. Week 4, we'll delve into emotional eating. Again, just moving this down so I can look at my notes a little bit. And then week 5, emotional eating and how we suppress emotions and things like that. Week 5, we'll be looking at the writing on our walls. So this is what this is about, is that we all have writings on our walls, and this is things that happen to us throughout our life. It might be from an early age, and sometimes it can be later in life. And these are the events, observations, learnings that have set in place our core beliefs. And some of those core beliefs for us are positive, and some of them are negative. And like it might be, I'm not good enough, or the world is not a safe place. For me, I used to run the one, I am of no value. So we'll look into uncovering those unhelpful beliefs and have a little chat about how we can work on those. And then week 6, we'll wrap it up and do some more work, probably on the beliefs, but we'll have a group discussion and see what people would like to work on, what they would benefit most from with that. So I'll just run you through now the tapping points so you can start if you want, just calming your system. So just simply by sitting and tapping, you are, without words, without anything, you're calming your system. One nice, easy tapping technique that you can use for calming yourself that you can do quite discreetly is finger tapping. So with finger tapping, you're tapping on the base of your nail. So hold your hand with your palm facing you, and it's the top of that finger at the base of the nail. In matrix reimprinting, we squeeze the nail. So you can squeeze both sides of the base of the nail. So you can just tap along with me now. And if you wanted to, you could take a breath in and out on each point. Just a normal breath. This is something you can do every day. You can do this discreetly behind your back, under the table. You can actually do it one-handed. Oh, sorry, this is mirroring me, so. And that makes it much easier. You can hide that quite easily if you're in public, like if you're just about to have a presentation or something like that. You can use this technique to calm your system. And again, just the finger squeezing. So that's something you could start practicing. Do this while you're watching TV. If you're someone who watches the news, do it while you're watching the news, and then you're actually calming your system while you're watching it. Okay, the tapping points that we use the side of the hand, and I recommend practicing this. So we tap gently 6 to 8 times. You'll probably find that I do it a bit more and sometimes a bit less. So side of the hand is where we have our setup statement. So this is where we're actually tapping into your subconscious or unconscious mind, which we're doing work with that as well. Top of the head, again, just gently, a few times. This is on the soft part of the head, of a baby's head, the crown of your head. Then the eyebrow point. This is at the bridge of your nose, at the start of your eyebrow. Side of the eye. Now you can tap one side, the other side, or both sides of your eye. This eye socket, you're actually on the eye socket bone in the crease of your eye, where the wrinkle lines are. Then under the eye, again on the eye socket bone in the middle. So it doesn't matter if you do it one-handed, two-handed, either side. If you swap sides, we're tapping into the same channel. Sorry, that was the under the nose point. I do it a bit automatically. The crease of the chin. And then your collarbone points. So the knobbly bits on your neck, just down from that a bit and out are your collarbone points. Under the arm, this is about a hand space down from your armpit. And then I do the wrist points. The wrist points encapsulate all of the fingers points, all of the finger points. So this is on your wrist where your watch face might sit. And then the other side of the wrist. And back to the side of the hand, taking a nice breath in and out. So just in doing that little bit of tapping, if you were tapping along with me, if you weren't, I suggest you rewind this and go back and tap along and even do it once, twice, three times. You may be feeling a little bit calmer already. Just doing that will calm your system. So you can start from now, start doing that on a daily basis, and we'll look into that a bit more on Monday night. Yeah, so Sam will be posting the link in the group, and you're more than welcome to come. Let me know if a better time suits you. For now, it will be, sorry, not Monday night, I keep saying that, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. I look forward to seeing you then. Okay, bye.